Today's topic that I will be sharing is struggles of emotions. Today I'll be starting by saying two different keywords for us to pay attention to. The first is expressions of emotions. The second is emotions. They don't mean the same, yeah? Let me share the difference between expression of emotions and emotions. Expressions of what we notice as reactions. Here are a few examples. A young child crying on top of his lungs, seeking for attention. A teenager throwing tantrum because her parents did not listen to what she has to say. An elderly couple looking lovingly at each other. A policeman shouting to a snatch thief to stop running. Often we use expressions of emotions as a guide to show us the possibility of the kind of emotions one is feeling. So what are these emotions that one may be feeling? It can be sad, happy, frustrated, angry, or pleased. When one chooses to quiet down his or her expression of emotions, it does not mean he doesn't have any emotions. It simply means that the expression of his or her emotions is hidden, unexpressed. Have you heard of this stereotypical statement that females are very emotional and male typically don't feel? I've heard this quite a lot, and let me just unpack this sentence a little bit. Very emotional, more often than not, points to the expression of emotions. It is wrong to say male don't feel. They do. Emotions are experienced by both female and male. I will leave it to you to decide whether the expression of emotions are more commonly shown by male or female. So from here on, I will share with us three struggles which I have frequently heard. The first is, if I let myself feel the anger, it might go out of proportion. The monster in me might take control. So in order to not go to that extent, I will deny what I feel. Let me again unpack this a little bit for us. Again, the clarity of the difference between the expression of emotions and emotion will help. If I acknowledge the emotion of anger, I do not necessarily have to proceed to lashing out to another. The action of lashing out is an expression of emotion. The writing of journal saying I'm pissed off is also an expression of emotion. So for these two expressions, the emotion felt is basically anger. So in a way, I can choose the way to express my anger without hurting others. If the concern of my action is that it will cause harm to others, but simply denying my emotions, then acknowledging it will in fact cause more harm, damage later. And we do not know how it will come out later. It is like a time bomb. Remember in my first sharing in Caring for Our Emotions 101, I shared that emotions are meant to be named. When we name, when we acknowledge, and when we allow ourselves to feel, it will naturally pass, just like air ventilation at home. Denying it, especially negative emotions, only means keeping the emotion alive inside of us. And no wonder sometimes one may experience sudden unintended outbursts. So if this is the case, what can help? First, I would like to suggest that we learn to acknowledge the emotions that we have held thus far and then express them out in a healthy way. For example, writing a letter to express your grievances to the person who has hurt you. You may decide to actually send the letter out or not later. It doesn't matter. Secondly, writing a lament to God for all the injustices you may have felt. If writing is not your cup of tea, you also may choose to go to an empty space to shout it out. Or in a car, you even shout. I think outside people won't be able to hear as well. Or you can also choose to talk to a trusted friend. There are actually many healthy ways to express our emotions. If you are a student, you may approach your campus staff. Maybe he or she will be able to provide you with some tips. If you're an adult or a child who has friends, you may also actually approach your friends, talk about it, and find something that is suitable for yourself so that you may actually gain healthy ways to express your emotions. The second struggle that I have commonly heard is I may become too sad and lose my rhythm in daily living. Thinking of the situation or person may overwhelm me and incapacitate me. This situation, though the expression of emotion differs from first situation, the need to acknowledge emotion is similarly important. So the first is to acknowledge that there's anger, and now the second is to acknowledge that there is sadness. However, the question that begs the attention in this case is what happens when I'm not in control? Engaging with my emotions will make me into a pulp of paper. I will go spiraling downwards, and then I don't know what to do. Is that the end of me? If this is the case, deciding to give yourself a break may be necessary. So put it down in your journal that you will return to the matter to unpack and debrief later with the help of trusted others or yourself when your emotions are normalized. If you encounter the situation whereby your emotions cannot be normalized, then do please reach out for help from trusted parties. We can't do this on our own. If we can't get out of the rut on ourselves, it's always good to reach out our hands to receive help. There will be a lot of people who are willing to actually extend their hand to give us support when we need. So while we take a break, one thing that you might want to consider is consider doing fun hobbies or outdoor sports or taking a stroll in the garden. So the idea of doing these activities is to get your eyes off the overwhelming matter for just a moment to see other perspective to what life can be. Be sure to actually return to the matter with courage and help from the Lord. Why do we want to do this? So that these two may come and go, just like all the other emotions that we have also felt. So remember what I mentioned just now, the good air ventilation at home. As we consider this point, may it help us to actually be able to engage with our emotion and naturally letting it go. So I come to the third struggle that I have heard. Logic always stop me from feeling. Feeling will not solve anything. What is the solution to this method? Yes, acknowledging feelings or emotions doesn't solve anything. However, acknowledging will help in self-awareness, increase awareness in our surrounding, and awareness of the work of God. What can help? Personally, when I am faced with dilemma between my heart and mind, I put them into dialogue. First, what do my mind say? Write it out. Then give voice to what my heart has to say. You may be as surprised as me when you do this activity. Personally, I found out quite many things that I did not know my heart wanted to say. But by doing this activity, I came to know the many things my heart actually wanted to say, but for some reason, many years of keeping in, it doesn't have a space to voice out. So doing this activity actually will help to resurface some of the things we didn't know that actually our heart wanted to say. And so this experience can be quite liberating. Just to share with you, in my experience, I struggled acknowledging my emotions because before I can actually start the process of acknowledgement, my logical side hijack and provide 1001 solutions. Not sure if you all also experience the same thing. So while that may solve the issue of the situation, it doesn't put my heart in an understood state. Again, the only way for the heart to be understood is by acknowledging and then naturally letting it go, like opening up our windows daily for fresh air to come in and for still air to go out. just like a healthy air ventilation. So this is the 3 points that I thought would bring help and encouragement as you discover yourself. And by practicing to recognize your emotions daily, may you be more aware inside and outside. Our ultimate goal here is to live freely, to grow awareness in self and surrounding, and to what God is doing in our midst. The Lord be our guide and help as we journey along and learn this important aspect of emotions.
Subscribe to FES Malaysia YouTube channel today.